Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
And there's an article that was written by J.W. Verrett, who is a member of the SEC's Investor Advisory Committee, so certainly to some degree an insider, I think it's safe to say. And it's literally talking about, as you can see on the screen here, SEC abuse of Howey test. J.W. Verrett, I actually mentioned him in a video within the last few days or so. He is not a fan of the way that the SEC is approaching crypto, not at all. He has seriously rebuked the way that Gary Gensler is approaching all things crypto. And in fact, in this article, kind of surprisingly, he thinks that there is a chance that the SEC versus Ripple case reaches the Supreme Court. Now, I hope it doesn't go that far. As sweet as that that finality might sound right now, from what I've understood from hearing Attorney John Deaton speak on this, I mean, you could be looking at a 5 to 7 year end date for that, with all the appeals and everything else. That's one of the reasons, to be honest with you, why I wouldn't completely hate a settlement. Yes, full adjudication is better, but there are always going to be appeals, or at least the possibility of appeals. And so, in a sense, I kind of wouldn't mind that. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you this individual's thoughts because he's rather thoughtful and he makes some incredible points, which I think you're going to appreciate hearing. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, Attorney John Deaton also shared this article from J.W. Verrett, and he had to say the following. Outstanding article by J.W. Verrett in Law 360. By the way, I'll just pause. Law 360 is the platform where it was first published, and then it was published a second time by J.W. on this what's it called? Veritas Financial Analytics LLC on their website. So he says, outstanding article from J.W. in Law 360 regarding the danger of Gary Gensler and the SEC's overbroad application of the Howey test to the digital asset space. JW recognizes that most first-time purchasers of XRP were unaware of the company Ripple. Now pause and think about that, folks. How is it that that XRP can be a security? How can it be that there's some sort of pooled monetary system, some sort of common enterprise that allegedly anyway XRP purchasers are a part of when they don't even know that Ripple exists? I mean, maybe you could argue that it's strongly if it were more like 90 or 95% were aware when purchasing, maybe you could have a stronger argument then. But when less than half know, that's quite the uphill climb. It's one of many reasons the SEC is going to have a bad time should this thing get to court. So anyway, into this. And it was actually titled, SEC's Ripple Case Shows Limits of Outdated Securities Test by J.W. Verrett. And this is a brand new article just from yesterday, March 18th. The multi-trillion-dollar digital asset market has caught the attention of Washington policymakers, including the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. SEC Chair Gary Gensler has stated in public comments and in congressional testimony that at least one of the hundreds of tokens listed on most digital asset exchanges must be a security, therefore requiring crypto exchanges to register with the SEC. Yet, when Gensler is asked by members of Congress to provide more guidance about what he means, which tokens are securities, and why they are deemed so, He will often respond that the SEC doesn't give legal advice. That sort of gotcha game is inconsistent with the rule of law and the principles of a free society. Now, pause again. Let me just remind you. He's an advisor on the SEC Investment Advisory Committee, or I think that's what's called. Actually, let me scroll to the bottom, make sure I get this right. It's cited right here. SEC's Investor Advisory Committee. So there you go. He's a member of that, and look at how strongly he's worded. It's like, no, SEC done messed up here. Right. Anyway, peace continues here, though. It is worth paying close attention to the United States Supreme Court's Howey test, which determines whether an asset is an investment contract or security required to register with the SEC. A sizable component of the over $2 trillion invested in digital assets may well hinge on the correct interpretation of that test, established in the Supreme Court's 1946 SEC vs. W.J. Howey Co. Decision that has since been reinterpreted in many lower court cases in increasingly expansive ways. The SEC's case against Ripple Labs Inc. for sales of the XRP token shows the limits of the Howey test. The case, SEC vs. Ripple, was in the news earlier this month when, in a win for the defendants, the SEC's motion to strike their fair notice defense was denied by the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. That defense argues that the SEC's nearly decade-long delay in bringing the case means that the SEC failed to give fair notice of the violation. The ruling likely improves Ripple's odds. If the case continues to drag on, it may even provide circuit courts or the Supreme Court with an opportunity to curtail the Howey test's current application, as in subsequent interpretations the test has strayed far from its original meaning in the Howey decision, particularly with respect to the common enterprise and profit from others elements implicated in this case. Yeah, now I'll just pause to say here, and if I can just add on to that, pile on right here. The SEC, people at the SEC, I've seen from Jay Clayton on down, I've seen all sorts of people at the SEC argue that the Howey test was meant to be flexible and account for unforeseen circumstances in the future. But the truth of the matter is, you can't shoehorn blockchain technology and crypto into this thing. It doesn't work. Square peg, round hole? No. It simply doesn't work, but they're absolutely insisting this. And what happens as they insist is they're expanding exactly what Howey can cover, as JW is accurately pointing out here. Eventually it becomes this huge blob that you could just use it to make any legal argument you want, right? That's the direction it's heading anyway. And it's rather grotesque as far as I'm concerned. Ooh, grotesque blob. Anyway, JW continues. The digital asset ecosystem is one that the drafters of the securities laws never anticipated. Many in crypto projects are more like computer systems or information transmittal systems than they are like a publicly traded stock. They will often have tokens associated with the project that can be used to approve changes to the code to facilitate the transmission of information. The SEC is using a test that was originally applied to orange groves to determine whether tokens associated with digital asset projects need to register with the Commission. That has consequences for other participants in the blockchain ecosystem, which may also be required to register simply for investing in these tokens or facilitating their transfer. We need a new test to determine what digital assets should register with the SEC. We also need to reshape disclosure requirements so that digital asset investors in those projects that must register are getting information tailored to their needs. The SEC's ongoing case against Ripple, just one example of the SEC's aggressive approach to defining securities required to register with the Commission, puts the digital asset community at risk. Oh, folks, I just wish that, I'll tell you what, I wish that the rest of the world of crypto understood this. I mean, there are a lot that do understand, but it's mostly people just within the XRP community that really understand just how bad things could get in the world of crypto if the SEC wins here. And that's why it's just that much more repulsive that Bitcoin maxi trolls are celebrating this. Well, wait till they come for you, because there's no guarantee that they won't. I'll tell you that. Peace continues. 2 elements of the Howey test include that the owners of the token have a common interest and that they expect profits solely from the efforts of others. Ripple is a blockchain software company whose founder helped to create the XRP token, which is an alternative payment system. The SEC sued Ripple and its founders, alleging that sales of XRP in 2013 were unregistered securities. The SEC waited to bring the case until 2020. Really grinds my gears, folks. The SEC alleges that Ripple's history of limited involvement in helping the XRP payment system maintain viability meets the second and fourth elements of the Howey test. Tens of thousands of XRP owners, the individuals the SEC asserts it is protecting, filed an amicus brief against the SEC. That brief lays out the case for why XRP is not an investment contract. So, of course, he's referencing what Attorney Jen Deaton is doing there. Individuals purchasing XRP typically know nothing about Ripple Labs. They purchase XRP for its value as a commodity and as a form of quasi-currency. Notably, XRP is classified as currency by the U.S. Department of the Treasury. For those of you who didn't know, that's an interesting fact. I've talked about it many times on the channel. XRP has already been classified as a currency. So apparently it's a security currency, according to the SEC. There you go. Because reasons, folks. Because reasons. In the case of XRP and many other tokens, there may be a group of individuals performing basic maintenance of the code or providing market-making activities, but otherwise, profit potentially principally derives from widespread valuation of the commodity, as in more analogous cases like gold or soybeans. The feature that a common enterprise has in common is the source of its profit expectations. But in the case of tokens, the source of most profits is entirely unrelated to a foundation, or here, individuals at Ripple, with some incidental link to the commodity. I love seeing it called a commodity. Yes! Anything that's not security, I'm down. Call the currency, call the commodity, I'm down. That makes sense. But when Ripple has so little control over anything having to do with the XRP ledger or XRP itself, how can you call it a security? It's just, they don't have power over any of this stuff. Anyway, peace continues. The Supreme Court hasn't provided much guidance on how to interpret the commonality element, and the SEC's aggressive expansion of the definition in the Ripple case and other cases against digital asset owners may well eventually spark a loss in the Supreme Court that resolves splits between the circuit courts of appeal over how this element is defined. This ongoing litigation may be where that happens. Well, maybe? I will say this though. I don't think it's likely this goes to the Supreme Court. I think that's very, very unlikely. I also don't want that to happen because we're going to have a hell of a 5 to 7 years. And what's that mean in the meantime? XRP just... Look, I understand most trading happens outside of the United States, but it's just a shame to think that, like, what that would mean for especially people in the United States. I'm in the United States. What's that going to mean for us for the next 5 to 7 years, however long it takes to resolve this crap after all the appeals? What does that mean for us? I'd rather not see it. I'd really rather not see it. Keep the Howey test. Just have common sense policy set in place that accounts for the very nature of blockchain and cryptocurrencies and move forward. And a big part of that, you can get 90% of the way there. I've said many times, if you just recognize the difference between a centralized and a decentralized cryptocurrency, because if something's decentralized, then there is no common enterprise, of course, if it's sufficiently decentralized. So define what that means. That is not impossible. And I've seen former SEC commissioners and lawyers at the SEC say, nope, it's too hard to do that. The technology's changing too fast. And I say, then you're incompetent and you shouldn't have your job. Find somebody that says, yes, of course, I can create some sort of framework so that we have clarity defining what is sufficiently decentralized. It is possible. I absolutely reject the argument that some of these commissioners have made, like former SEC Commissioner Robert Jackson has made, claiming that the technology just moves too fast. No, folks, we just can't do this. No, you're really bad at your job. Get the hell out of the SEC. And I mean, he has gone from the SEC now, but...
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.